jig rod and how we use it here fishing the backwaters of Amelia Island. What I like to use is a 6-foot rod, medium heavy action with a size 1000 Shimano Stratic reel. On the reel I have a 10-pound braided line, and tied to that line a 14-pound fluorocarbon leader. The knot I use to tie to the leader to the line is a uni-to-uni knot. You can Google that, do a Google search, or email me and I can send you instructions on how to tie that knot. At the jig head, I use a DOA loop knot. And again, you can do a Google search and see that knot online, or email me. The jig is a 1/4 ounce jig. You can buy these in stores at bait and tackle stores, or what I did, I posted on one of the fishing sites for somebody that made and sold them in bulk, and you can tend to almost get them at half price of what you would normally pay for in a retail store. This jig outfit, what we're going to do is I'm going to bait this with a live shrimp. And the way I do that, if you'll hold that shrimp, that live shrimp at the very last joint, and from the top down poke that jig through the last of that section all the way through. Spin it around and then come back up through the belly. And I'll even kind of flatten that shrimp out. So we're going to drag that shrimp backwards. When you make your cast, you want to reel that jig up to about 6 or 8 inches from the tip of that rod. For those of you that aren't not used to using a spin casting rod, I like to take my fingers and split them just like that and put them right through the handle like that. There's a few reasons for doing that. Number one, if you cast and you happen to fumble it, you still have it and you don't drop the rod in the water. The other reason, if you get a big fish on, really all you got to do is hold on. You don't have to do anything but just hold on, and that way you're kind of locked in. And then lastly, you want this line right underneath your pointer finger to make your cast, so you can spin your bell until that line is right there at your pointer finger. Then all you got to remember is to grab your line and open the bell. This is called the bell. When I say grab the line, just get used to laying it right there on your finger, and don't grab it up in there. That way it doesn't have to come off of all of that finger to make your cast. So make your cast, let go of the string, and then depending on where you're fishing, a lot of people have the tendency to want to throw that bell the minute it hits the water. But what you want to do, especially here, we're fishing in 25, 30 foot of water, leave that bell open and let that jig go to the bottom. If you throw the bell the minute it hits the water, it pulls your bait way on out here and you've just ruined a good cast. Let it go to the bottom, close your bell. If you read the fine print of the braid manufacturing box, they'll tell you to close this bell by hand and tighten the line. All of us grew up doing this number to close that bell, but if you can get in the habit of closing that bell, tighten your line every time, that you don't build up a mush here. You'll find out if you build up a mush, one time you'll cast and it'll all come off and you'll have a big wad. Then what you want to do is keep that line as tight as you can, and with this braided line you can feel just anything that taps it. You can feel the bottom, and if the current's running, I just kind of take my slack up and stay in touch with that bottom. If you feel a fish biting, you're going to feel a boom, 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 boom. What I do is make sure that line is tight and just give it a good firm rod tip lift and hook up. I'll fish it back, reel it up, toss it back out there again, let it go to the bottom, close your bell, tighten your line, tighten up your line, and just fish it back as slow as you can fish it, especially in the winter time. It's cold right now and that water is really cold, so you want to give it a lot of time for that fish to bite. The only other thing I didn't mention, if you can get in the habit, watch my left hand. If you can get in a habit when you make your cast, have that left hand ready to stop that line. You reach out, feather it. That wasn't a very time you can just let it feather right through your hand, pinch it, make you stop, and keep it from going over a log or a dock piling or whatever. So that's how we're using the jig rod to fish here at Amelia Island. Oh, there's a bite. Whoop! And the line broke.